What's going on, everybody? Richard here from RC Workbench, and I did this video in support of Operation 11 Charlie RC. There's a link for his channel in the description below. I did this video to help our veterans understand the basics of Lipo batteries just a little bit better. Also, if you would like to find some more information about Lipo batteries, you can check out this video in the top right hand corner from our buddy Troy over at Roadside RC. What's going on, everybody? Richard here from RC Workbench, and today we're going to talk about batteries. And I've got a large assortment of them here. This is basically going to be a video going over the basics of Lipo batteries. What does it mean when you hear 2S, 3S, 4S, 6S? What does all that mean? This here is a 2S battery. This is a 2S battery. This is a 2S battery as well. We have a 3S battery here. Another 3S battery here. And a big giant 4S battery. These are in fact Lipo batteries. These are not nickel metal hydride or nickel. These are Lipos. You can usually get about 150 to 250 charge and discharge cycles out of them, as long as you maintain them properly and treat them with the respect that they deserve. Let's start with the obvious question. S. What does S mean? So this is a very small 2S battery, and it has 2 cells in it. You can almost see the 2 cells kind of through here. You see a little line, but this is 2 cells. This one here, you can see 3 cells, 3 different cells inside of this battery. This one here, you've got 4 cells in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. What does S mean? S means cells in series. That is what the S stands for, series. So if you look at the voltage level of a 2S battery, you got 7.4. A 3S battery, you've got 11.1. A 4S battery, you've got 14.8. Each cell in each of these batteries runs at a nominal voltage of 3.7 volts. So you've got 2 cells. There's your 7.4 volts. 3 cells, 11.1 volts. It's just simple math. 3.7 times 3, 3.7 times 2, 3.7 times 4. And that's how you get 14.8 volts. What does it mean by nominal voltage in each cell? Well, that is the default resting voltage of the battery pack. Whenever you charge any of these to their full capacity, you're going to get 4.2 volts per cell. That is a fully charged Lipo battery. That's why when you're done charging these, you're going to have a much higher voltage than what shows up here. Again, this is the nominal voltage. When you go to discharge these, the minimum voltage is 3 volts per cell. You do not want to go any lower than 3 volts per cell. And the reason for that is they don't like to be fully discharged. They like to sit in the middle at their nominal voltage, and they like to go not too high and they like to go not too low. They kind of like to ride that wave of voltage. You'll notice on this battery you see 50C. On this battery you also see 50C. On this battery, 50C. Now, what does that mean? That is your continuous discharge rating for that battery. This one is 30C. This one here is 25C. This one here is also 25C. If you look at this one, you got 52 milliamp hours, 4,000 milliamp hours. If you want to understand what the C rating and the milliamp hours really mean, then you can check out another video that I have, and I'll put that right here in the top right hand side, and it really goes over very well what capacity and milliamp hours really mean. But this is the basics. We're just going over basic stuff here. So we're going to go over charging next. So this charger right here is about as basic as a charger as you can get. Here is our battery. You're going to have a battery charge lead. This plugs into your battery here. Never ever, and I mean never ever, plug this in unless this is connected to your charger. Because if these make contact, you're going to make a very large spark, and you're going to make a lot of sparks possibly come out of this, and that is not a good thing at all. So we're going to plug this in, positive to positive, negative to negative. Now we can go ahead and plug this in. This is your balance lead. The reason that you have a balance lead is because all of the cells are kept at the same voltage. You don't want one to have a different voltage than another one, because then it's unbalanced. An unbalanced LiPo battery is not a happy battery. You want to maintain a happy battery, and to do so, you need to properly charge it by balance charging it. So 2 cells, they share a common wire, and then you got one going into each. I'm pretty sure, but don't quote me on it, but they share the ground wire, and then there's a positive lead going into each cell. These connect directly into those cells. On a 4S battery, you've got a ground and 4 separate hot leads, so they all share a common ground. On a 3S battery, you've got a common ground, and then you've got 3 hot leads. So you're going to take your balance plug, and you're going to stick it into this charger. A 2S, a 3S, and a 4S slot. You can't plug it into the 3S. You can't plug it into the 4S. So you can only plug it into the 2S lead, or the 2S slot. This battery is now ready to charge. Now you should typically put this in a LiPo safe, fireproof bag while you are charging them. You should also charge them outdoors or on something like a fireproof surface. I don't have that here for a demonstration. This is not how I typically charge my batteries. This is a 4000 milliamp battery. The way that we want to charge this is what we call a 1C charging rate, which means if this is 4000 milliamp hours, we want to charge it at 4 amps. You can see that here we got it set to 4 amps. This is flashing red and green. I can cycle through to a few different types of batteries. This is the LiPo setting. This is a LiPo battery. This is where I want to charge it at. LiFe, I'm pretty sure, is a lithium ion battery. I don't know what LiHV is, but NiMH is nickel metal hydride. You may be running in nickel metal hydrides in some of your RC stuff. You don't want to mix these two up when charging. Always make sure that you have it on LiPo when you have it plugged up to a LiPo. Bad things happen if you don't do that. So we got it at 4 amps. We got our balance lead plugged in. We've got our main leads plugged in. To start this charger, I'm going to hold this button down, and it's going to stop blinking the red, and it goes into a yellow. I don't know if you can see that on this camera. Might be able to see it on my hand. Maybe. But anyway, that means it's charging. So you got 3 different colors. You got red. If it were flashing red, then the voltage is below a certain level, which means it's going to take a while to charge. When it's yellow, it's somewhere around the storage voltage, and it's not going to take quite as long to charge. If it is solid green, then it is fully charged. When that turns solid green, it's ready to go. Now, if you need to walk away from this for any reason, which you should never do while this is charging. Never ever walk away from a battery while it's charging. Bad things can happen very fast, and if you're not there to take care of it, they get really bad really quick. You'll see that this is locked in. I can't do anything. This is still charging. If I want to get this to stop charging, I hold the button down, and now I have, you can see the red and the green. You can't see the actual light, but you should be able to see it on my hand. So you got red and green. It's not charging. So I can go through and cycle because it's not charging. Now I can walk away from this. Or disconnect it if I have to. This charger here will take up to a 4S battery. So I can plug this monster of a plug straight into the 4S. You see how the 4S fits into the 4S? It doesn't fit into a 3S or a 2S. So you typically don't have to worry about plugging it into the wrong slot. But you will need other types of adapters and different types of charging leads. This is an XT90. This is an XT60. Pretty big difference between the two. So we're going to disconnect this, and we're going to plug in the XT90. Now, I can plug that in because I have it plugged in here. It should be safe. You can see here, it's red and green. It's not charging. This here is a 5200 milliamp hour battery. This charger only goes to 4 amps. I can charge it at 4 amps safely. It's just going to take longer to charge than it would the 4000 milliamp hour battery. You can go down on the amperage levels and slow charge these and still be pretty safe. So same thing. You can see it's red and green. Always make sure that you are on the LiPo setting. hit it and hold the button. So you see, I am charging, and you'll see that it is not charging red. When I'm done using these, I usually put them into a storage mode, or at the very least I balance them, and I'll talk about how to do that now. But first, turn this off. You can see it's not charging anymore, and now I can safely disconnect this. You're going to want to get yourself one of these. These are lifesavers. These can tell you exactly what is going on with the voltage levels in your battery. So I have been charging these. You'll notice that they weren't fully charged. Now, the proper storage level for a LiPo is 3.85 volts. Let's see where I am at with these. So this is an audible checker. It's not the greatest checker, but it does work. What I usually do with these is stick them into my vehicle while I'm running. When the voltage level drops too far, this thing sounds an alarm and it's very obnoxious. So watch what happens when I plug it in. That is very loud. That is very obnoxious. And you can't read it, kind of, but it's telling me right there an 8.37 voltage. Cell number 1 is 4.17, cell number 2 is 4.19. That's pretty balanced. I mean, it could be a little bit better, but it's pretty balanced. So let's look at it with this type of charger, or this type of battery checker. Same thing, you plug your balanced lead straight into here, and I can see right there, I've got a total of 8.36 volts. Cell 1 is 4.19, cell 2 is 4.17. That's pretty balanced. You know, you really do want them to be exactly the same, but that's not terrible. Let's check my 4S Monster out. Again, I charged this one and then I ended up not running it the other day as well. So this one is telling me it's 16.81. That means it's pretty much fully charged. So I've got 4.21 on one cell, 4.19 on another, and 4.2 and 4.2. To be able to balance it, you really need a checker like this, and always go by the manufacturer specifications as to how to do that, because this checker here will actually balance these cells for me, but it takes a very long time, which is why I got this charger over here. This one I haven't run in a very long time, and it's been in storage mode for a while. Checking on it here, I can see that it's at 7.72 volts. I've got 3.85 on cell 1 and 3.86 on cell 2. This is a happy stored battery, and it's in balance. So this is a safe battery to store. Let's check this sucker. So this one here is at 11.8 volts. Cell 1 is 393, cell 2 is 394, cell 3 is 393. That's a very well balanced battery, but it's not in storage mode. We actually run these quite frequently. That's why I have not put these in storage mode. These are awesome to run while you have in your vehicle. You can always stick this in the vehicle while you are running. Once the voltage drops below a certain level, this thing has an alarm and will tell you that this battery is being dropped too far down. It needs to be removed from the vehicle and put on a charger. This one I know for a fact that we ran the other day, and I haven't had a chance to put it on charger again, so let's see what happens. .51 volts. So you heard the alarm go off. It was telling me that it was at 6.51 volts. So let's take it and put it onto this checker that doesn't make all the obnoxious noise, and let's see exactly what's going on. This battery is charged to 6.51 volts at the moment, 3.26, 3.24. It's pretty decent balance. I mean, it's a little off, but that could be better. So as I said earlier, the safe minimum discharge amount is 3 volts. So 3.26, 3.24. I'm still in the safe zone, but this is a fully discharged battery. I also want to get this back up to 3.85 to be able to put it into a safe storage. Anything below 3 volts is bad for the LiPo, so we're still good, but we're not in a storage state. So I can hook it up to here, and I'm going to do that now. The whole reason that I have this is because it gives you an immediate response that there's something going on. This will go off when you've gotten to a certain voltage level, when you've dropped below a certain voltage level, and it'll also go off when it's out of balance. Plus, when you have it in your car, if you start to suspect that your low voltage cutoff isn't working very well, you can use this as a backup, and you will be able to hear this in your vehicle that your battery is dropping below a safe voltage level. if you don't trust your ESC, which I've had to do a few times. So if you have one of these type of chargers, it's pretty much the same as the other one. You've got a balance lead connectors right here. This goes all the way up to 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8S. So I can charge up to an 8S battery on here. So we're going to connect the 2S battery balance lead. Then I'm going to need an EC5 connector. Positive to positive. Negative to negative. Then I have this adapter here, which allows me to connect to a EC5. So now that I have all this connected and it's ready to go, I can come over here, and the program selected is Lipo. I can go to Start. I've got Lipo Balance Charge. I can change that. Lipo Storage. Lipo Discharge. Lipo Charge. So stay away from any charge feature like that. You always want to stick with the balance charge. So on this one, we're going to go to Storage. And this is a 5200 milliamp hour battery. So we're going to hit Start. It's not 3S. So we're going to have to go to here where 2S. This is a 2S battery. Hit Start again. Now it's going to ask me the milliamps. 5200 milliamps. Start. I can adjust the C rating here. See, it's saying 5 amps. That's what I want it to be at. You see how it will only allow me to go to 5 amps or lower, because anything more than 5 amps is not safe for this battery to be charged at. This is how your C rating works. And again, if you want to know more about that, check out that video that I put up in the link. So now that we got it in LiPo storage mode for 2S, 5200 milliamp hours, I'm going to hit Start. Now it's all locked in and programmed. I can hit Start and just hold it. It checked it to make sure that it wasn't too far out of balance and that everything seemed okay. And now it's going into storage mode. It's going to store or charge that up into a storage voltage level. Now you might be asking why it has a discharge feature. So this one, as we saw, is at 16.8 volts. It's at 4.2, 4.1, 4.2, 4.19. This isn't a safe storage charge level. I'm probably going to be running this in my X-Max in the next few days, so I'm not too worried about it. And I'm not too worried about that balance level. You know, it's really not that bad. I could balance it, but I'm going to be running it in a few days. And then once I put it back onto that charger, it's going to balance it anyway. But I can show you how the balance works with the charger. So here is another charger that I have. This is actually a dual charger. I can charge up to 2 LiPos at once with this one. While I'm explaining all these things, I may as well just go ahead and put this into and balance it out. Put the balance plug into there. This 4S battery takes a XT90 connector, so I'm going to plug in my positive and my negative, and I'm going to plug that in. You can see program select lithium battery. I'm going to hit Start. Got LiPo balance charge. We're going to hit to the right. We got a LiPo charge. That's not a balance charge. That's charging straight from this lead. It's not even looking at this. You want to balance charge. Always balance charge. Don't do straight to here. That's what this means, LiPo charge. You want to go to LiPo balance charge and go through here. It'll keep all of your cells lined up nice and happy. So LiPo charge. LiPo fast charge, I would not recommend that either. Got LiPo storage, just like the other battery charger over there. So I got LiPo discharge, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit Start. It's a LiPo battery. I can change it to other type of batteries, but it's a LiPo battery. So the highest setting that you can go on a discharge is 2 amps. It's 4S. It's already registered the voltage, so it knows it's 4S. I'm going to hit Start. So that's all programmed. I'm going to hit Start again and hold it. It checks the battery. Then it asks me to confirm it, or I can cancel. I'm going to hit Confirm. So this is now discharging voltage from this battery. So I'm just going to hang out here and wait for this one to charge back into a storage mode, and I'm going to wait for this to discharge a little bit so that I can actually check the balance level. If all you have is this type of charger and you've checked your battery and it's not balanced, or you charged it and you ended up not running it and you want to put it into a storage mode, you can put it in the vehicle and just run it, and then check the voltage with one of these. And if it's at 3.85 on all the cells, then you have it in the optimal storage mode, and then you can just leave it. You don't need to have a fancy charger to put it at a certain voltage. It makes life easier, but you don't have to. Let's say you did fully discharge it, and now you want to put it into a storage level, but this doesn't stop at a storage level. Just charge it for like 10 minutes, and then check the voltage on each cell with something like this, or something like this, and you will be able to put it at a safe storage level. You don't have to have a fancy thing like one of these two. It does make life easier to be able to do stuff like that, but if you have one of these, you can still do it. It just takes a little bit more time. So we've been discharging here. I'm going to stop it, and we're going to disconnect it. So we're going to plug it into the checker, and we've got 4.2, 4.18, 4.19, 4.19. Let it balance a little bit for a second. So you can see it went down. We got 4.2, 4.18, 4.19, 4.18. Now to just balance this out and reconnect this, and we'll come to lithium battery, Lipo discharge. We don't want to discharge it anymore. We're going to balance charge it and go up to 5.2 volts, or 5.2 amps. Because this is a 5200 milliamp battery, we can go to 5.2 amps. Hit start and hold it. It's checking everything, and it's ready to go. So if these were too far out of balance, this battery charger would basically tell me that no way, Jose, it's not doing anything. So even though it's slightly out of balance, it's still within a safe parameter. Again, you can do it with this charger. You know, run it in the car for like just a few minutes, just to bring the voltage level down, then connect it onto here, and then just let it charge for like 5 minutes, and that should balance it. So we're going to let this run for just a few minutes. This one's been running for the last 12 minutes. Not really sure how long it's going to take to get that to a storage level. Yep, like I said, I mean, this is just real elementary stuff to kind of give you a feel how to work with these things. There's a lot of information to take on when it comes to LiPo batteries, and if you're new to the hobby, it can be very discouraging having that lack of information, or rather having that lack of accurate and trusted information. I'm not going to give you any information that's going to cause you to have any kind of catastrophic failure. So while these are doing their thing, you know, one thing you always want to do is examine the condition of your batteries. You know, is it puffy? If it starts getting a little bit puffy, you should be fine. I mean, this one is a little bit puffy, just a hair. Like, I can feel it. If they really start swelling up, get rid of them. You don't want them in your house. Take them to your local hobby shop and discharge them. Take them to a recycling center, have them discharge them and dispose of them. Never just throw these things in the trash. That's bad news. These things can really hurt somebody. If they're unaware that something's in there, they throw something into a trash can and it punctures it. These can kill you. If you have one of these dischargers, if you have one that's swelled up, if you have a charger like this, you can discharge the entire battery to be able to be disposed of properly. I think this is almost fully charged, so we're just going to go ahead and hit stop. Now we're going to check it again. Yeah, like I said, this thing was fully charged not too long ago, and it was supposed to be running the XMAX, and I ended up not running it, but I think we're going to be running it in the next few days, so I'm going to leave it. Look at that, we got 4.22, 4.20, 4.22, 4.21. Now if I continue to mess around with it, I could get it perfectly in balance, but I'm not worried about it. Now if it was like 0.19, 0.18, and 0.22, then I would have an issue with that, but we're pretty good here. You're talking a fraction of a volt, so we're good. This one's good for me to take out the next time we take the XMAX out, which should be sometime in the next few days. I mean, it's not a bad habit to go through your batteries just to see what kind of condition they are in a regular basis. See, this one's at 3.93, 3.94, 3.93. It's very well balanced. It's not at a proper storage charge, but like I said, we run these in the crawlers all the time, so keeping them charged isn't a big deal because we typically run them at least once a week. This one here, oh, yeah. So you can see how terribly out of balance this is. We're at 3.01, 3.03, 3.19. It had some running issues, and I wanted to bring this one up as an example of a problem with the balance. I've got 3.00, 3.03, 3.19. That's really not good at all. This is at 9.21. This is an 11 volt battery. This is, I would say, pretty dangerously out of balance. It's just now getting below the minimum, so 3 volts is the lowest you want to go. Yeah, it's actually telling me to check the battery. Yeah, no crap. So this one's actually scheduled to go to the hobby shop to be properly discharged. I want nothing to do with this battery anymore, to be honest. So yeah, that's an example of a battery that's dangerously unbalanced. You know, if it was at 3 volts all the way around, it wouldn't be that bad. But this one's below 3 volts, 2.96. We got 3, and then we got 3.18. That's a big difference. This is a very, very, very bad battery. So this one has actually been scheduled to be taken to my local hobby shop to be discharged. I don't trust this thing at all. So here's another one of those exact same batteries, and this one is at 3.80, 3.79, 3.8. So this one's only slightly below the storage level, which would be 3.85, and this is actually my test battery, so I don't keep it at a storage level. I hook it up to stuff just to kind of like make sure lights and everything are working. But yeah, this one's gotta go. No way, Jose. So let's go ahead and come back to this one, and let's see where I'm at. 3.8, 3.8, and 760. So we're just about at the optimal storage voltage, but I'm okay with that for now. I'm probably going to be running this in the Bomber in the next few days, so it's going to get a full charge anyway. I usually don't put things into storage voltage unless it's going to be sitting there for weeks or months. So that's kind of everything that I have to say about the absolute basics of batteries and chargers. When you're charging your battery, the safest way to do it is to put it into a Lipo bag or a much more fire resistant surface than this. I only did it here because I was doing it for the video. Treat these things with respect and they will treat you with respect. They can be dangerous, but they're 99% of the time very safe, as long as you're treating it with the respect it deserves. And I do have a fire extinguisher right over there, so I'm not too worried about certain things. Although if one of these does go up, you're probably not going to put it out anyway. But at least with the fire extinguisher, I can put out everything else that's being lit on fire, hopefully. But I hope this helped. If you have any questions, or if I caused you more questions than answers, then always feel free to contact me or Javier. We will not lead you astray. We want you to enjoy the hobby, not feel any anxiety about the hobby. If you have anxiety about certain things, then you're not going to enjoy them. And we don't want that to happen. So, like I said, if you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to contact myself or Javier, and we will never lead you astray. And I am out of here.